Well, look what's arrived at the cabin. It is snowy. Probably 6 inches where the snow can come down through the trees where I'm standing. And it's gonna make it a little hard for me to continue to work on my log cabin I was working on. This weekend I brought up the foundation corners and how I was gonna do it, and I'll show you a video or what I brought for that. But with this amount of snow, it's gonna be probably a week or two of really nice weather till the cabin area melts back down and I get back to work on it. So I also picked up a draw knife and I don't know what you call those tools that clamp onto the logs so you can pick them up. But I'll show you the back of the truck right now and explain what I'm going to use for the foundation and footings for the logs. So flip us around. One of the first order of business today though is going to be burn this pile, and I like this time of year because you can start seeing tracks like the tracks over here. Those are fox. Underneath the house, well, actually I could show you right here in the shadows. It's rabbit right there. But I'm gonna light this up and burn it since we've got a good layer of snow. Then I'll start bringing over that pile. It's a little too close to the trees, so I don't want to burn it there. I want to burn it here in the middle. Solar panels, when we got in yesterday, were a little bit covered with snow, so I got those all cleared off. And we're starting to charge up again, but man, it is so beautiful here. And most of the snow slid off the roof, but we got a pretty good chunk at that far end over there. But let me show you what we're going to be working on. So there's my new draw knife, my new clamp to pick up logs. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig holes in all four corners, because again, this is only going to be a 10 by 12 cabin. And once I get the holes, dug and leveled out, I'm going to put 50 pounds of pea gravel in the bottom. Then on top of the pea gravel, we'll level out. This is a 16 by 16 by 2-inch thick concrete pad will go down. And then I'll take these guys, these bricks, and these are 6-inch bricks. I'll stand them up like this on top of those 16 by 16s. And then the first layer of logs are going to lay right across on top of these. It should work well to keep them dry and breathing with the holes going through them. So I shouldn't have any issue with that. And then, yeah, logs will just sit on top of that. The bottom row, I'm going to use 12-inch spikes to hold the bottom row on and to make sure the base is really firm. And then I'll work it all the way to the top, and then I'll put another set of spikes around the top to make sure the logs stay in place. So that's what's coming up real soon, but unfortunately it's just not going to happen today. All of these parts and pieces I'll just take over here and I'll throw them in the woodshed until we get this clear enough. But I'm up here with my 87-year-old dad. It's Veterans Day. He is a veteran, spent a lot of time in Germany right after the big war, World War II. And we're just going to hang out and enjoy ourselves. I am going to make a special treat though today for lunch, and that's going to be grouse stew. And earlier this fall, I shot a grouse out here with my bow and arrow, and I've been just saving it. So we're going to boil it up over the wood burning stove, and I'll share that with you because there's not going to be a lot of building going on in this particular video. First things first, got to clear the deck of snow. The sun won't really reach this part of the deck again, gosh, until March probably. So I like to keep it shoveled off so you don't get it too frozen up. But I'll get us all set up to sit out here a little bit later today. We'll probably have a fire going and just relax. All right, time to make some eggs, bacon, and toast and have a nice breakfast. Then we'll start on the stew and let it sit, on the wood burning stove for the rest of the afternoon. So one of the reasons I love winter so much is this. you can see what's been moving in the woods. And right there is one elk. Over here, another elk. And the cabin is just right up here through the trees. So on this walk, I have seen elk, deer, cottontail, jackrabbit, fox, and chipmunk tracks. So winter is the best. Well, finally, time to start a fire and get rid of a bunch of this scrap wood. Cool thing is, I'm not doing this mountain man style. I'm doing this the easy way. We'll let it do that, and I'll start bringing in other piles of wood from over here. How's that working? Well, we'll keep working till it's gone. There you go. Happy Veterans Day to an 87-year-old veteran. There you go. Piles are shrinking. That one's going down quite a bit, and the one back there that I keep pulling wood out of. So a couple more hours, and that tree that I cut down a couple of videos ago will be 100% gone. There you go. The pile over here, gone. Now we just have to wait for this to finish burning up. And that big old tree we took down a couple of videos ago is finally done. And I'm very, very happy about that. Probably our next job today, sit around and have lunch. And there you go, just a pile of ash. No pile over there. Sun hitting the panels, and an old fart sitting on the deck, enjoying the sun on Veterans Day. Well, time to do a little stew action. So we're going to use this grouse that I got earlier this fall. And it was very humane with my bow. You can see actually where the arrow went through right at the heart. Carrots, small potatoes, half an onion. Going to throw it on the stove with some chicken broth and let it sit for about the next 4 hours. So we'll get to it. You got to be careful with this knife, man. This thing has got, it's Japanese metal, and the blade is just ridiculous. So gotta pay attention to what you're doing. Don't want to end up without a finger. Oh, is this gonna be good? So the whole plan with this grouse is to put it into the pot and let the meat fall from the bones, basically. So I'm going to take the back legs off, and we'll leave the breast and everything else together here. One back leg. Two back legs, and then the whole body's going to go in like this so we can get all the meat off of it in there. Last thing we need to do is cut up a little bit of onion, fill it full of chicken broth, and we should be able to let it set for 3 or 4 hours on the wood-burning stove, and we should be in good shape. We're not big, huge onion fans in our house, but it will add to the flavor, that's for sure. Pink Himalayan sea salt and some pepper. I like extra pepper for the spice. Now we'll just get this in there. This is just chicken broth as the base, and then I'll have to add a little bit of water to it, so I got enough in there that it'll cover up everything. So all right, I'll add the water, put it on the stove, and I'll show you when I get it over there. So here we go, time to cook it. And so it's on our Colorado cylinder stove, and this pot down over here, that's water that I'm going to use for a shower later tonight. So I'm letting it sit there to warm up, and eventually I'll put it on top to get it really good and warm. But if we look in here, I added a bunch of garlic salt to it as well. And so we've got everything pretty much submerged, so we'll let it just kind of work its way in, get nice and hot, and let it boil for the next couple of hours, and hopefully we'll have just an absolute delicious fresh grouse stew. Show you in a bit. All right, time to check on the stew. See what's going on in here. Ho, 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 ho. It's coming along nicely on here. Here's some. You should smell this cabin right now. It smells absolutely delicious. Okay, next time we check, it should be done. So we're almost through. Move this so you can see me. With the cooking, and what I did is I pulled the grouse out, and I'm going to take all the meat off the bones now, and you can see it's just flaking apart. It's gotten that tender, and so I'm just going to continue to completely clean this and pick this clean, put all the meat back in the pot, and not only will I do it with the breast meat, which I think I can use my fingers now, is it just falls right off. Look at that. Oh my God, is that amazing? So we're going to have some really good meat here in a few seconds. Here we go. Beautiful, beautiful fresh grouse stew. We're gonna have some cornbread muffins with some honey and butter, and we got salt and pepper here. So we are ready. What do you think there, Pops? Think this is gonna work for meal?
It looks good.
Awesome.
I earned every bit of this meal today.
Yeah, you did. Sitting around and napping. See you all in the morning. Well, good morning. Perfect day out here. We should get rid of a lot of snow, I would guess. So what I got to get done today is I've got to take all of the bricks and gravel out of the back of our Armada, get it here into the woodshed for now, because there's no way I'm going to be able to work over on the log cabin or the foundation. Gonna go over there, and I am gonna practice with my draw knife a little bit on some older pieces of wood that I won't be using for it. And then finally, I'm gonna build new blocks for underneath the back side of my solar panels, so I can take them and tip them more upright towards the angle of the sun. I think our sun this time of year gets down to about a 20-degree angle in the sky. And if I want to be more efficient with the lack of sun, I really need to get those panels adjusted for that. So I'm going to cut some logs to the appropriate height. I'm going to measure how high up the back needs to be, and I'll get some logs in the wintertime. I'll use those, and in the summertime, I'll drop them back down to flat, and we'll get sun that way. So hopefully we can get this done before I have to go home later today. So time to get at it. These are a solid 30 to 40 pounds a piece, so not fun to move. The last thing, the spikes, and none of this is going to get to do anything for at least a few weeks, so it's good to have it put away and safe. So here's what I'm talking about. I've got this just pile of logs or scrapped wood sitting here, and I don't think it's quite high enough for the angle of the sun. I'm looking at it right now, and it might be okay like today, but we've got another over month of days getting shorter where the angle's going to change. So what I'm thinking is that I've got to tip this up to about here's where I want it, so another 6 inches higher than what I've currently got. So all we're going to do is go from the ground and then up another 6 inches. So we're going to go to 16 inches here to get this thing to the right height. Over here it doesn't have to be as much, so 6 inches higher than what it currently is. So this side is only going to get, it's 6 inches up, so this is going to be 12. So I'll cut a 16-inch log and a 12-inch log, and we'll tip this thing up. And over here, looks like I need a 12 and a 14. So 2 12s, a 14, and a 16-inch log, and I will be able to get this perfect for all winter long. See, I already measured right at this knot is my 16-inch point, so let's get this done. doesn't get much easier than that. So we'll put it underneath there. I'm going to actually use this one big tree stump. It's perfect size. It's 12 inches, so I can put that underneath the two sides here, and then I just have to cut a 14-inch for over there, and we'll be done. So I'll show you when I'm all completed what it looks like. Well, that was not bad. I'm on a pretty big slope here, so I had to put a 2x4 pressure treat underneath there to keep that level. I might have to cut another one, but at an angle. Used a big old stump there to hold both of those at 12 inches off the ground. And then I kind of did some modifying on the far one to get that 14. So the angle of these has changed pretty good. And now when you step back and look at them, you can really see that they are sloping towards the sun. This should help me grab a couple of additional amps now, but it's definitely leaning forward when you look at, I'm holding the camera level because we are on the side of a mountain, so there is a slope to it, but they're definitely leaning into the mountain now. So 2 things done for the morning. Now I'm gonna head over to my wood pile, clean it up a little bit more for the log cabin, and see if I can't figure out how to use a draw knife. So to give you a better idea of where the cabin's gonna be, I'll walk you to it, and I'm gonna try to use the draw knife a little. So here's the stairs at the end of the deck, picnic table, and it's gonna be back over here to our left. Remember I told you I was moving that pile of sticks and stuff? That's where I moved them all to in the last video, and this is gonna have to get moved. This is where we do a little bit of target practice, but here's my logs, and I actually shoveled these off yesterday. So we still got a lot of snow around here, but I'm gonna try setting my tripod down. I'm gonna try to see if I can't get on the end of this one. Since this log has has a fork in it right here, so it's gonna have to get cut anyway. I figured this would be a good place for me to practice with my draw knife. So I got that, and this thing I'm very excited about, being able to get down on stuff and lift it up and pick it up and move it a lot easier without killing my back at my advanced 57-year-old age and body. So let's see what we can do here, how these work. All right, I can already see where I'm gonna have an issue. Taking too much of the bark off as I go. That really went down fast. I'm gonna turn this over, try to do on this fatter side. I've got till right about here that I can practice stripping because that's where the fork is in this log. So let's pull a few more. Well, what do you know? I think I'm going to be able to do this. And some of this stuff will just still peel, but I'm not going to work in this snow. This weekend is done, so I'm going to call it. I got my wood restocked inside the cabin, cut up a few more logs to put in the wood shed. Everything I wanted to get accomplished this weekend kind of got done, minus putting my foundation in down here, which I would have liked to have done. Got my first run of logs around the bottom, so it'd be locked in place, but it's gonna have to wait. Sun is about to hit this. You can see the logs are starting to show. So maybe I come back out next weekend or the next couple of weekends, do more of this. And if the snow goes down a little bit more, I'll be able to drag a few more logs out of the wood and continue to build this pile. So till next time, thanks for watching, and do it yourself.